Guide us through the stages while we summon mythic sages. Dark nights, spellbound crazy. Mythic squad will remain for the ages. Mythic squad, no, we'll never be banned. Not from a far side or any project. Mythic squad, every hero's on quest. Step aside, oh my friend, you will have to repent. Mythic squad, no, we'll never be dead. Not from a far side or any project. Mythic squad, every hero's on quest. Step aside, oh my friend, you will have to repent. Oh Lord, gives us blessings.
Welcome everybody. This is another episode of my live stream. Actually, this is, as you know, my first live stream on YouTube. Finally, YouTube is letting me stream, which doesn't sound like something incredible for you, but for me, it's already a great victory. It took really days and days to manage to get to this point. So what are we going to talk today? Today, always with your host 91 Karmas from Mythic Squad, we're talking about a question that is bugging me already. As you know, we are already at the third weekend of PvP testing. So already for 3 weekends, we had the pleasure of testing the future of the PvP in DefiKingdoms. And what are we here to talk today? We're here to talk about, do we have already a meta? Well, this is a technically hard question because we haven't got all the classes available. We haven't got all the codexes, so we don't know how much the meta is going to change in the future. We are sure that it's going to change. But what we know is that at the moment, with what we got, we have already some sort of meta or an idea of what the meta is going to be like. I'm going to analyze each of the classes that we can actually play. I'm going to say what I think about what I saw in these 3 weekends I had the pleasure of playing. Um, I'm gonna tell you how much each class is influencing at the moment the gameplay. And we're gonna go through all of these examples. So, of course, while I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna hunt a bit and I'm gonna double check on my expeditions. I'm trying to level up a priest, and this what the priest is the first thing I'd like to touch. So what I've been able to see is that priests are playing a key role in the meta at the moment. Having a priest is going to reduce to the minimum possible the need or using any health potion because you got an healer. Of course, this sounds like an understood said like this, but priests, of course, are not um, really damaging classes. Yeah, I forgot to move the stamina potion. That makes sense. Priests are not incredibly damaging classes, and deciding to go for a skill that makes damage with the priest is going to take away the possibility of having an heavy heal or an important shield, because as you all know, you cannot choose both. So depends on how you plan to use a priest. If you intend to use it as an healer, as a support, most likely you're gonna go for the main choice of having a heal or having a shield as a fifth grade skill. And what I've seen in these days is that if you manage to keep the priest alive away from the opponent's attacks, if you manage to have a really well built priest, it's gonna make your team last incredibly longer, and most likely you're gonna be able to fend off all the heavy hitter from the opponent's side. What I mean to say that I had several experience. I was usually playing with quick damaging team. I was playing warrior, archer, knight. So I was using the knight as a tank, as a way to disperse the incoming damage using interception. I was using it as a support in order to use potions in order to taunt the opponent healers. But sometimes, because this is a technically quick uh, type of team where you want to act as quick as possible and take down at least one of the opponent's heroes on turn one or turn two. Um, with this build, if you fight against priest, if you don't manage to take down something on turn two, you fucked up. Most likely, you're not gonna make it, um, because the healer is gonna take away all the effect of your skills used in the first 2-3 turns. You're gonna end up having to use health potions to recover health on your heroes. You will have to use mana potions to be able to keep attacking proficiently, and this means that you have 3 potions to use. That's it. Then the game is over. You got nothing else to do. And if on the opponent side you find a priest who is going to keep alive the opponent's heroes longer than what it takes you to take down at least one of them, the game is gonna be over eventually, where you gonna be tired out. You won't have any more skills to use. You won't have any more health potion to use. So the first point of today is, I believe that the priest is the one of the main meta classes. Um, let's talk about the Seer a second as well. The Seer is an incredible support, has got some skills that are really incredible. I believe that some of the effects of those skills are crazy good, but has got one main issue: the lack of an instant heal. What do I mean with that? In the eventuality of an incoming critical strike that forces you to have to heal, uh, most likely what happens is that if you're playing a priest, you can heal immediately. If you're playing a seer, you have to plan and heal for the future. So you're gonna play that heal is gonna be placed somewhere around 10, 20, 30 ticks away on the time bar, and this is going to mess up your gameplay. If you need an immediate heal, you are forced basically to use a potion, which is the opposite of what you would like to do when you're playing a support or a healer, or anyway a class who can heal immediately. uh, why? Because you want to use those potions for mana mostly, toughness potion, anti-blind potion, anti-poison. You might want to use a swiftness potion if you need to speed up your DPS. And what happens is that with the Seer, despite having some crazy good abilities that allows you to um, simply dispel a target effect or place 30 ticks away a big damage on the opponent. Despite all of these really incredibly cool things, there's divination and clairvoyance that are really crazy good skills because they give you a huge buff on one of your other heroes that is gonna have a 60% pierce on their next attack, and spending few mana points to play their maybe heaviest skill. I've seen it used in combination with repeating shot, where repeating shot was going to have a 60% pierce, so increasing the damage from 600 to 1000 HP, and was going to cost what, 5 MP. That's a crazy good combo. It works really well and makes the Seer a really cool class. The issue is that the Seer cannot heal properly. It's not gonna support your gameplay. And when a class like that doesn't support your gameplay, it doesn't get in the meta. It's crazy good, it's cool, but it doesn't get in the meta. Because first of all, it's got really low HP points. The HP rolls for the Seer are 40% low rolls, which means that even with high vitality, a Seer is never gonna have as many HP as a priest or as another support. It's gonna be really a fragile kind of class, which is something we can deal with if the Seer will be able to heal. The issue is that the Seer is not able to heal. So as soon as you get a critical hit, you risk in the game. That's why as a support, what fits in the meta is now the priest. We can put it on screen now. I'm gonna finish getting these quests and we're gonna add this on the screen. First point of the meta is the Seer, is the priest. Why? Because doesn't only give you buffs. Prayer on Might is a really crazy good buff. I'm playing with a warrior with an Excalibur, 67 strength. I use cleave so I can hit first and second position simultaneously with a rapid onslaught. If I use a prayer on might on him, I get to 500-600 damage on each of the first two heroes, which is crazy good. Honestly, it's crazy good. It's a huge, big, fat damage. At the same time, if I would support that warrior with the Seer, I wouldn't be able to make that amount of damage. And at the same time, I wouldn't be able to heal it. So the first spot in our meta is definitely absolutely taken by the priest. And I'm saying it from the perspective of a person who was not playing the priest. I was playing, as I said, warrior, archer, knight, because I believe that with the knight, with a really well developed knight, you would have been able to have a big damage outcome, a big output of damage on your opponent, and at the same time you will be able to support your heroes, so potions, damage reduction, damage absorption. Eventually, what I've seen, especially yesterday I played like 20-25 games. What I've seen is that this never works out, or really rarely works out. You have to be lucky with what you do with your other heroes. So if the damage brings down on turn 1 or 2 one of the opponent's heroes, great, that works out really well for you. If that doesn't work out, you are gonna lose the match, unfortunately. So the first thing we said is this one is having a support as a priest. I'm leveling up this priest right now. This is my poor priest. I'm stamina potting it so that it can be competitive really soon. As you can see, I've been aiming for a good vitality score. I hope to get some medium and high rolls on its health in these next 4 levels. I have a really high value of wisdom because we are at 65 already, and a pretty decent intelligence score. Now I just need to improve a bit the dexterity, but what I aim to do with this priest is not using damaging skills, so I really don't give a shit about the dexterity. What I care about is being able to heal a shitload of HP to carry on the game and dragging it as long as possible. As you can see, I got some really cool traits here. I got an exhaust that always comes in hand. I got a poisoned blade that always comes in hand. Poison is the most threatening status effect that I've seen till now. It's crazy seeing a hero losing 200 HP at every 10 ticks if you do nothing to stop that poison. It's a really crazy good effect. So having this basic trait, because it's just a basic trait, it's the first basic trait, it's the first thing that came out basically. This trait can change a game, even if it's just a basic trait. So first position is taken by the priest. Now let's try to talk about DPS. We have three classes that are mainly focused on DPS, which are the archer, the berserker, and the warrior. Now let's not talk about the warrior for a second, because the warrior might be set up in different ways. You can set up a warrior as a DPS, you can set up a warrior as a tank. When it comes to the warrior used as a tank, I don't think it's competitive, because I believe that the knight, which is a pure tank, used as a tank, it's always gonna be more effective than the warrior. The skills knight has, and HP growth, the stats growth, are always gonna make the knight a much better tank than the warrior. At the same time, how do you pay this pro of the knight? You pay that pro with the big cons, which is the knight is not gonna be damaging, it's not gonna be threatening, it's gonna be there taking damage, which does really well, but is not gonna help you taking down the opponent heroes. It's just a situational, it becomes some sort of tank support, and this doesn't fit in the meta yet. I'm really sorry about this, because I really love having tanks in the meta. I really love my knight. My knight is the second total high stats in the game at the moment, and I really love how I built it, because it's got a crazy good amount of dexterity to block and dodge, a crazy amount of vitality for the hit points. It's got more than 1400 hit points. It's got a crazy good amount of endurance, because it's got 45, nearly 50 endurance. And I'm really sad that eventually the tank is not playing out really well yet. I know that in the future it's gonna find its place. At the moment, it's not. At the moment, I don't believe that playing a tank is the meta of the game. So, let's face the DPS part of our meta for a second. As we were saying, the DPS are the warrior, the berserker, and the archer. First of all, let's talk about the berserker. The berserker is a big disappointment. It requires a lot of time to build up, so it requires a lot of time to get to the point for it to be threatening, because as you know, it needs to get some he needs to be attacked or he needs to deal damage in order to increase the attack to the point that it becomes damaging. Also, you often risk losing control of the Berserker, which means that you cannot target the opponent you need to target. And this becomes incredibly situational because um, sometimes it just works out amazingly. It keeps attacking exactly the target you need to attack, and it gets to 500 damage, which is with a basic attack, which is incredibly good because suddenly you're simply smashing it. Then sometimes it starts to attack your own heroes, even if there's only the 10% chance that happens. It's gonna happen like 2-3 times in a row, and it's gonna ruin your game. Or it's gonna start to attack once this hero, once the target, once that other target, then gets back to the first one, get back to the second, and you are not able to direct the damage on what you really need to do. So maybe you got on the opponent's side a priest or a seer that you or an archer that you really need to take down ASAP, and you can't do that for the simple reason that your berserk is deciding that you're not gonna attack there, which makes a class that look like super cool a really useless PvP competitive class. Don't get me wrong, it's fun. It's gonna be fun. You're gonna have a ton of fun with it if you're not playing competitive. If you're playing to win, you cannot use the Berserker, which, as I said, is incredibly sad. The second DPS that we're gonna talk about is the Archer. Now, the Archer was the most overpowered class of all and required the nerf that it got. I was sad about it because I own like 25 archers between level 14 and level 20. I was really aiming at using archers in the gameplay. Eventually, I had to accept that maybe they needed that rework. They needed to be nerfed a bit. That's fine. What I'm not really happy about is the balance of the nerf among the three skill set, among the three skill trees. The dexterity based skill tree works incredibly fine. It's cool, it's got its own dynamics, and it's understandable that the way it's been programmed now, it pushes you to have to choose. If you're using repeating shot, you gotta better be using it to take down an opponent. If you don't think you're gonna take down an opponent with that attack, it's rather it's better not you use that, because you're gonna risk there the exhaustion, the way it's gonna take a ton of MP to be used, the fact that you might shoot this big shot and waste it, it's gonna have a big impact on your gameplay. So you have to really strategize when you're using it. So I really like the dexterity tree because now it's working. The channeling based tree, I had yesterday the great opportunity of playing against Esper, who was using only the tree, which I didn't see coming because before nobody was using it, but actually makes a lot of sense. It's really difficult to hit an archer who's challenging because with Shroud they get a 20% bonus on evasion. They already have, if you build them with an high agility, they already have a 15% evasion if you consider that you're gonna give them an armor already. and if you give them evasion pants, you can get to 20 plus 20 of the shroud. Hit a channeling archer becomes really a challenge. Sorry for the pun, for the wordplay. So that can be a really damaging skill tree. I haven't seen enough of it to say, okay, yeah, that's the best or that's the worst, but I think that it's gonna have a big potential in the future. We will have to see. Um, Now let's talk about what concerns me the most, the luck-based skill tree. The luck-based skill tree is what has been nerfed the most, and I understand why. It was really the most damaging skill tree for the archer. With that skill tree, you would have been able to take down a full team of opponents on turn one with 3 archers. Barrage, 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 end of the game. Okay, I understand that, and I understand that the nerf had to come. I'm not happy that it came, but I accept it and I find it right. I don't want to win like that. The nerf on barrage, it's fine. Now it's channeled. It takes a bit of time to be used. It's not slow. You cast it, and after what 3 ticks, you're shooting those arrows. So eventually it works. It's fine. What I'm really not happy with is One Small Stone. One Small Stone had is a skill that relies on the critical hit. You want to use One Small Stone because it's got a good possibility of critting. And with the fact that now the critical dynamics based on luck has been reworked, and if you go over a certain amount of luck, you're not getting any more that amount of critical strike chance, makes the effect of One Small Stone being reduced. So not only is being nerfed because now in order to hit 2 opponents you need to use piercing shot before. It's fine, I can accept that, but we removed even a lot of its critical strike chance potential, and I think that that's a bit too much. I used i used a build with One Small Stone, and I played more than 20 games, and in probably 50 times that I used One Small Stone, I've been critting only 4 times, even if actually my critical strike chance is 28. What I believe is that the bonus of a critical strike chance with that skill should be slightly improved. I mean, instead of being a plus 10%, could be a plus 15%. That 5% extra that brings the skill to have slightly more than 30% critical strike chance will make it great. Will make it nerfed, but not nerfed too much. And I say this because I believe we are still in a playtest, so we're still working out how to make things work in this game. That was another unintended pun. That said, despite of whichever skill tree you choose, what I've seen is that archers are the most damaging DPS. They're a must in every comp. So um, the second class that we have to keep in our meta list after the priest is the archer. Now we talked already about the difference in the tankness, in the effectiveness of the tanks in between the knight and the warrior. But we didn't get really deep into the warrior. The warrior is a really crazy good class. Probably is one of my favorite classes at the moment. because that's what you would like to do with the Berserker much better. And at the same time, it can resist some attacks. If you have a support behind it that can somehow keep it alive as long as possible, bubbles, heal, speed, prayers on might, everything that can support that warrior is not only going to make a ton of damage, but even if you don't build it as a tank, you end up having a crazy good first liner. It can resist, it can damage. That's what the knight will do, not as good as the knight, but at the same time damages, something that the knight doesn't do in any way. I feel like the knight is lacking a good damaging skill. All the skill sets, forever vigilant, all the line are really good because now they can target the second spot, but are not good enough to make me say, okay, the knight is the way to go. I have to prefer, if I have to play the support, because that's what I've been forced to eventually, to play a support in the backways. I cannot have the space for the knight in the front line because I need to have that warrior that has a damage output, which the knight hasn't got. Indeed, probably having a priest and a knight in the front line means that eventually your knight is a never dying knight. It's gonna be there forever because you can keep healing it and can keep absorbing damage and keep healing and keep absorbing damage. But then you need something that really damages. And the output of 1 DPS at the moment, with the actual meta, is not enough to do that. It's not enough to make sure that you can take down your opponents before they keep healing. And it's gonna bring this game to become a dragged out game where each opponent is there tiring the other one. The match is gonna last what, half hour of people using all the potions, all the skills, to the point that they don't get to the basic attacks, and basically you have to wait for one of them to slowly die. That's a bit of an headache, and it's not really what we are here for. We are here for a game where you can set up combos, can take down the opponent, and yeah, indeed, there's gonna be a lot of strategy where you want to place yourself on the time bar in a certain way. You want to make sure that you can take down the opponent, or you can avoid that specific target to do something. To do that, to make an example, I used to taunt the healers so that they cannot heal, which is a great strategy if in that same turn you manage to take down the target that you want to take down, that you don't want to have healed. So yeah, I'm in for this type of play where you can strategize. I'm not in for dragged out games. That's gonna make the game boring and annoying. And I think that the developers have to stop somehow that type of game to be created at all. Because if you leave the opportunity to create that type of game, there's gonna be a player who comes and says, "Oh, why not playing in a way that is gonna annoy my opponent until they give up because the game is gonna be too long?" Yes, that's clearly gonna happen. And if that type of dynamics gets in, I'm afraid that everybody's gonna jump on that, and the game is not gonna be fun anymore. Simply because everybody's gonna be there bubbling, healing. Nobody's gonna damage anybody on the other side because they're all gonna be there defending, and sooner or later the game is gonna become who gets bored first. and I don't want that to happen because I don't want people to get bored of the game. I want people to enjoy a gameplay where they can actually do things. The match doesn't last an hour of nothing, but 5 minutes of crazy, focused, intense fights are perfect. Okay, they don't need to be long games where we're dragging each other out to be tired and bored. They need to be games of quick fun. At least that's, of course, my opinion. That it goes beyond the meta. So, to recap a bit the situation and what we say today, probably it's early to talk about fixed meta where we can say, okay, these are the three main meta classes. We need to have more classes out to be able to make this choice. To be able to say, okay, the meta is, I don't know, pirate is the best DPS, legionnaire is the best tank, and summoner is the best support or scholar. I believe we're gonna get to the point pretty soon. We can say that what we have got now available, the main meta is clearly priest, archer, warrior. It's what works best. And we explained already why. Summoners are will be summoners will sorry seers will be the best support if they would have a instant heal, which they don't. So there's nothing to say about that. You can't really heal with them, so they cannot really support you. uh, Knights will be the best frontliner if they will be able to damage the opponent. The issue is that they can't. If you want them as a frontliner, if you want to be able to use them, you need to build them in a way that protects the rest of the team, and so they don't make damage. They become meat to send on the front line. How was in the Middle Age and during the Roman Empire when they were sending a first line of sacrifices, soldiers, just to send them to tire the enemy and the opponent, knowing that those people was going to die there on the front line. That's exactly how the only way we can use knights at the moment. And as we said, Berserker are too unpredictable, too honestly too unplayable because basically what happens there is that you don't play. What you do, you see it going, and most of the times it doesn't go in the direction you want. It's cool, yes, it's cool. It's fun, yes, it's fun. Actually, it's funny more than fun. But it doesn't work competitively. It doesn't play out. So yes, what we can say is that the point of today is that the actual meta, and we're gonna for sure be back on this subject probably in 1 or 2 months' time, but the main meta at the moment is priest, archer, warrior. Doesn't matter about the build you have for your heroes. You might have prayer on might, or you might have holy wrath, or you might have pure shield for all of your team on your priest build. Doesn't matter. That is just how you prefer to play. But having that type of support, having the type of DPS, having the type of damage tank, it's what's working right now. I'm pretty sure I can play 100 games, and probably with this build I would have a higher percentage of victory than with any other combination of heroes at the moment, honestly. That said, I don't wanna spend a lot of times doing this, but I'm gonna I'm gonna go for an hunt just for fun. If you guys would like to stay with me this other 20 minutes while we hunt a bit, that's gonna be definitely fun. So let's go back to Crystal Vale. Blah. Let's go back to the tavern. Why is not loading my balance? This is bullshit. Okay, this is much more okay as a balance. So I played already all of my Boar Hunts today. So let me play a Mad Boar Hunt. Okay. So for this hunt, I'm going to play an Archer Warrior Knight team. I've already played most of my best team at the moment, to be honest, so I'm just gonna keep playing. Uh, I'm probably taking advantage of the fact that everybody's focused on testing the PvP in order to play as many hunts as I can and get some juicy Metis. I actually already won in the last 2 days one reward, one Metis reward. So I'm gonna try to win another one today because I know that usually everybody was playing hunts so much and farming so much that was really difficult to get a lot of Metis. I don't know how many you guys managed to win. I won, I think, a total of 4 Metis till now, since when that reward pool came out. I hope that soon we're gonna get another type of reward like this. I really enjoy hunting. Sometimes I just sit there, I open 3, 4 hunts simultaneously, and I go. Really easy. I'm right now playing 3 legendary heroes. Actually, these heroes are pretty old. I bought them, I think, like 2 years ago, and I never stamina potted them. They got to level 18, 19 just playing hunts and questing. So as you can imagine, they didn't really actually level up that great. These are probably some of the heroes that I will reroll eventually. I'm gonna go as soon as possible right now with the barrage. I want to spread some fat damage on these boars. My knight is gonna go back in the first position. Maybe we can move his turn quicker at this point. No, not enough. Doesn't matter. That barrage comes in. Now it's my warrior's turn. What I do wanna do, I want to try to blind Mama Boar. Can I upload more? My man, I opened this channel, what, 6, 7 days ago? I'm gonna upload more. Please give me the time to do it. I have some more PvP playtest videos to add, and I got some really cool shorts already filmed and organized. I just have to find the time to post them. Okay, so what we wanna do now, for those who don't know how a hunts work, we want to wait for the moment where Mama Boar is channeling and cannot react with the rampage, especially because when you're not playing a healer, you can't actually stand the effect of a rampage, because after a rampage most likely is gonna come a wild charge, and without an healer you can't really survive it. So what you wanna do, you wanna try to fit the killing of the small boars in the space of the channeling here. Okay, this was a critical heal. I really didn't like it. I want to I have to do this. Okay, I wanted to heal the warrior, but actually I've activated the combo with one small stone. It didn't really work out. Okay, let's see if my warrior Chol is gonna survive. Chol survived. Well done, Chol. So 19 HP, 18 damage. No, this is so sad. So we're gonna go with the basic attack here. This boar already who's headbutt, so I know that it's not gonna attack my warrior. Okay, that cleave hit both of them, which is something crazy good. Now we want to set up some damage. Unfortunately, we missed. So we start healing up because we know that most likely we're gonna be hit by a rampage if we want to not drag this game for other 15 minutes, which we don't want. So now it's time actually to heal. Let's try to blind this guy as well so that I can reduce the amount of heal that I need to get back to full health. I'm gonna give them some damage here. So possibly now with a couple of health potion I'm gonna have a decent amount of health and I'm gonna be able to challenge them and take down this boar, this little boar, and we see if we manage to survive the rampage from Mama Boar. While charge is gonna come in another 3 turns, so what I'm gonna do is try to hope to daze this Mama Boar. No, doesn't work out. It's fine anyway. Let's see. Ah, we missed. Okay. Nothing. The issue here is that if I kill this small boar now, I will have to unfortunately lose the knight and probably lose the archer. So the only thing now to do is to wait. We give some mana back to the warrior. Oh, we have this fat bleed damage that I really didn't want to get. I didn't realize it. So I'm gonna try to cleanse this knight. No, the knight is not gonna survive. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna try to add some more damage on Mama Boar here at the back. We're gonna reposition the warrior on the front to absorb some damage on its HP. It's It's funny that they're both blind, but they never miss the shot. How long before this is one turn? So I'm gonna pass with the warrior, and I have to really hope that that wild charge is not gonna kill me. Let's see if we can make it. There's still a possibility that we make it. He pushed me. No, he critted. There's no way we're gonna win this one. Unfortunately, we are here having just to hope that the RNG is gonna work out, but it's not. I don't have got any more potions, and I don't have got any heal. I really just need to hope that he's gonna channel. Okay, now he's channeling his skill. It's time to take down this little boar, and we need to hope that he's gonna miss me with this wild charge. Let's see. He doesn't. And he stunned me as well. So I've got only 2 turns. And 2 turns are not gonna be enough to take down this mama boar. He misses me, but I don't have got any more mana. So most likely this game is lost. I have a buff on block and damage, but it's not gonna be enough. Grant, seems like the boar is playing with me. Yeah, the boar is playing with me. Okay, this happens. That said, on this sad loss, I'm gonna personally retry it, and I'm gonna do it on the second attempt. But I think it's time for us to simply close this stream. And guys, I'm gonna see you again. Most likely it's gonna be next Sunday or next Monday. Usually are those the days where I got time to stream. If I remind you that I'm gonna soon be live with my Italian stream where I talk about strategies, and I'm gonna bring out my Hunter's Handbook where I go through all the skills of the monsters of the PvE. I'm gonna go through all the equipment that they can drop, and I'm gonna go through all the possible compositions and skills to beat these type of opponents. That said, I'm gonna see you soon, guys. Remember to press on the bell for the alerts on my YouTube channel for the notifications of the streams, and remember